What's going on, my YouTube family? I'm back with another video about Street Outlaws, fastest in America, hosted by none other than JJ the Boss. If you have been living under a rock and you're not familiar with it, 8 teams are going to race their way down to whoever wins gets a chance to race Memphis for $100,000. Memphis is not in the bracket. They are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the 8 teams to race down to see who they race. It is going to be NOLA, and it is going to come down in the finals between Detroit and NOLA, and I think that it has turned out to be a lot better show than what I thought in the beginning. By looking at the teams initially, obviously NOLA in Texas, I think, was the fastest teams there. Detroit is no slouch, and the rest kind of have their ups and downs. Each team has cars that you may not have heard of, or you may not know as much as some of the other teams. Between all the previous Street Outlaw shows, NOLA, Detroit, and Texas has had a lot of cars in all of the shows, so people know the people in those race cars. Where some of the rest of them, and what we're going to call the underdogs or the least well-known. By me saying that, I'm not saying they're not just as street as anybody, but least well-known. We know that Detroit, we know that NOLA, and we know that Texas will go down the streets. No doubt. With NOLA knocking Texas out right in the beginning, that left Detroit and NOLA, the two heavy hitters, what we're going to call them. NOLA racing the Northeast, which was just a ragtag team that didn't have their own state. It was just a conglomerate of cars from different states, threw themselves together, made a team, and they had a couple of fast cars. The lead guy, Rankin, that car is fast. That car is street fast. Technicality, he lost. Their highest horsepower car, I would call it the fastest, but it's not the fastest on the street. Their highest horsepower car is the one who actually lost the race for them. They was going into the very last race with a 6-0 sweep, with NOLA being the one that was winning, and the guy left a day and a half early. He said he intended on leaving early, but he got up there, the camera got to him. The guy had walked around and acted like he was super cool all night, and got up there and folded under the pressure. Not to take anything away from him, he had an amazing car, a probably 4,000 horsepower car, and obviously fast. I don't know how fast on the street. He made a pretty good pass, but would it have hung with the Bird Boys? Who knows? If we just use Ricer rules, we're going to say that Detroit wins next week, which will put Detroit and NOLA in the finals. After the very first episode of this whole series, when NOLA kicked Texas out, you could tell that that was going to be the two toughest teams that was going to be meeting in the end. But we've seen O'Heavy versus the Shocker lined up with Lizzie flagging, so we know that it's going to be NOLA and Memphis in the finals, or for the $100,000. And car to car, power to power, knowledge to knowledge, tune to tune, I don't see how a straight up race Memphis can beat NOLA. We will have to wait and see. I truly don't know the outcome of the show as of right now. I've had a couple people tell me some stuff, but I don't know. If you hear a dog barking in the background, there's about a 150-pound lab tied up out here, and it's driving me crazy. It hears me talking, it wants off, but if I let it in here, it would probably be on top of this car, so I'm sorry for the background noise. I tried to stop the camera several times, but every time I start it back up, he goes to barking again. Sorry, it is what it is. But we know it's going to be Memphis and NOLA, and I cannot wait for that race. When the cards was drawn initially, it put a well-known group with a less well-known group, so it automatically makes people want to watch, because if it was two no-name guys, it wouldn't be as interesting for everyone to watch. The way the cards have failed is benefited the show crazy. And with it being a 7-0 sweep for NOLA this week over the Northeast, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I've done talked about the majority of what happened. I mean, it was a 7-0 sweep. What do you do? A few things that I do want to talk about is several things that I have noticed. Cars that have made great passes in the first 7, and this is not this week necessarily, but last week, the first 7, the next time that they bring the list of 6 up, it's kind of odd. You would think you would want to put the cars that made good, fast A to B passes your top and see if you can go ahead and seal up your win. Where we have seen, like John Quick, Detroit put John Quick at number 6 on the second round, and that car's retarded fast. So why was he not one of the top ones? I don't know the time frame in which all this is happening. We are seeing a race every Monday night, but this could have been back to back to back, and they just didn't want to, wear and tear on the cars that they didn't think they needed to. I know Kye Kelly said that he was not going to put his car in the next 6, and he's already mentioned about having to put an extra pass on his motor when he had to re-race Eric Bain that he shouldn't have had to. Memphis's cars are sitting on kill, ready to go, and all of these other guys are beating the crap out of their cars, and I kind of see, if that be the case, why they are doing that. But if it's not, I don't understand how they draw who they draw. But only time will tell, who wins it overall. Memphis is hosting it. Memphis is out there gathering a lot of stuff, and they're out there watching some good racing. But with Kye and the Team NOLA, they are working as a team. Scary for JJ, because JJ is all about family and teamwork and building something as a team. And Kye has brought his team together, whether it be the leadership of Kye or just the nature of all of his people. They are working together as a team, and that is a team that you can't take lightly no matter what. I would love to see the 405 and NOLA re-race now on the streets. I don't care if it's in New Orleans or if it's in the 405, but I would love to see that rematch and see what happened. 6, whatever. I would love to see a lot of racing go down, a lot of money get bet, and see who is fastest on the street. Because right now, regardless of what happens on Fastest in America, I still truly believe the 405 is the fastest on the street at any given time off of a flashlight. No technicalities, straight A to B passes without chases the race. I feel confident saying that. Memphis is no slouch at all. They are fast, but their hustle game is faster. They made these rules. They live these rules. They know how to manipulate these rules for their benefit. Am I saying that's wrong? No. That's what grudge racing and all of this stuff is based on. It's not like I'm downing any of them by saying that. It's just how it is. Any team that they race should do the same. That's just how it is. I do feel like JJ wants the cars to do the talking, the streets to do the talking. But when you say I want to let the streets do the talking, the hustle is part of the streets doing the talking. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I can't wait to see how it plays out. Block and Brian Davis are going to be taking their teams into Monday night, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. I want to see Block, the self-proclaimed underdog, can bring himself a victory. Brian Davis said that he was going to say it was going to be 7-3, and the only reason he was giving them 3 races is because he was going to be trying some new stuff, and if it don't work out, they might get 3 wins. If it wasn't for that, he was calling a 7-0 sweep just like NOLA did. So it's going to get interesting. A lot of personalities and a lot of fast cars, a lot of underdogs, just a lot going on, and the show has turned out something way more than what I expected, and has been a pretty good show. I just like all the racing that we're getting to see every Monday night. It's not just 3 or 4 races and a bunch of arguing, or 5 races and a bunch of arguing. We're seeing some races, some full-blown races, and that's what I want to see. But with that being said, it's Saturday right now. I had an accident this past Monday on the way home from work, and I've been dealing with rental cars. I've just had a lot going on. But anything you want me to know, say, do, or have, send it to me in the email address that is on the screen right now. P.O. Box, probably one of the last chances right here to be entered because I'm going to shut it down. It's on the screen. Whatever you feel like. If there's some stuff come between now and when, I decide to shut it off, or whenever the payment's due on it again, if there's some stuff come between now and then, I might try to keep it up for another 6 months, but I doubt it. But if you want to be entered, there it is. Thank you for watching. Godspeed, and I will see you in the next video.